I own the 2 monkeys, which we had bought, and then we bought Tuffy first from Karen and Frankie Glass, and then after buying Tuffy, after he got to be around 8 years old, he started getting depressed, which that's what I heard a lot from Connie, that and Doug, Dr. Doug, awesome man, you know, that they can get depressed after so long. And once you have one, you gotta have 2 to keep them. And I noticed Tuffy used to sit around outside in his cage and not do nothing. And you could tell he was sad. And when we bought Tiffany, we brought him home the first time. Next thing you know, we brought him in the house. We brought him in the house here, where my ex-wife was holding Tiffany as a baby. First thing he done right off the bat was he ran over to her, grabbed her, and started crying, and held her. Yes. Yes, it's amazing. I was very surprised. My wife was, at the time, was afraid that he was going to hurt her. I brought in the cage with them and let him play with her in the cage. Every time she would climb the tire swing, he would go up and grab her, put her under his arm, and carry her back down, would not let her climb. Was afraid she's going to get hurt. Yeah, I bought her just to keep him company because I seen the sadness in it. You know, I agree. You got to have company. You know, I know how it is to live alone. You know.
Would you go with Tuffy around? Would you stay
24
home?
hours a day. 24 hours a day. If we went to the store, he went to the store. For 8 years, before we got Tiffany, everywhere we went, Tuffy went. He was never left alone. Never, for 8 years straight. No matter where we went, if we went to St. Louis, if we go on vacation, Tuffy went. He was never left at home alone for 8 years. What would you call it? You know, like, it's my, you know, you're dedicated. Yeah. I'm dedicated to it. Yeah. And that was my dedicated to our life. He is, and so is she. You know. Well, my daughter was raised with Tiffany.
Okay.
My other 3, my son, my 2 stepsons and my son was already moved out when we got Tiffany. And my daughter used to babysit Tiffany at the time. Why we would go like to bingo. Well, I built the house at first without having Tuffy and Tiffany. We did not buy. I built the house. It was done in 1996.
Okay.
And then it was. I can't quite remember what year it was. Tuffy's 21 right now. May 11th, Tuffy will be 22. So that means in 22 years ago.
About 96.
96.
Yeah, 96.
No, then that would be wrong. I'm sorry about that.
No
That's
problem.
fine.
I'd have to look at the papers to find out, to make sure. I've got all of his records and everything.
So you had him from when he was...
I got him at 4 months and 7... He was 4 months and 7 pounds. Yep.
little cutie?
Yep. Yes. Yep. Used to crawl around the house, just... You know... He was awesome. My life. I mean, that's how it was. You know. It was, my wife was the same, she was the same way. She loved them. Well, she showed up out here about 3 years after about 2 years after we got divorced. Tuffy didn't have nothing to do with her. He went to the other side of the cage and wouldn't even come to her. Tiffany took a little bit, and she came over and finally started having something, letting her touch her and talking to her and stuff. But Tuffy would not have nothing to do with her. He would not have a thing to do with her.
That's mad.
And he was upset. He just like now, if she was to show, I don't think I would not let her out there. I would be afraid of her getting hurt. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't. I've had people go out there. My son moved in with me last year. And he lived here for 8 months. He would wake up, him and his wife and my grandkids, he would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He'd go out there and sit with them. They knew him. He'd take a bag of chips and sit against the cage. Sit there and watch TV with them, feed him chips. And they'd play with him through the cage. Because he was raised with Tuffy. Now Tiffany he wasn't raised with. But with Tuffy accepting him, it was okay I guess she was taking that it was okay. But now if I was to go out there and him be out there, no, it don't happen. Nobody can be out there when I'm out there.
Why?
He will hurt somebody.
Why? Why is that?
Jealous. He protects me. I don't know if he takes it that I'm hurt and he's protecting me, but I've had people go out there with me whenever I go out there, with them, and he will throw a fit and try to get them. He will throw things at them, and as soon as they leave, he's fine. But my son could go out there by himself and never have a problem. It was me they was protecting. Unbelievable.
How would you describe that? Yeah.
Unbelievable. His vocabulary of, my opinion, how I always say it is, if you say, he knows that no, stop, quit, all means the same thing. Because I could say no, don't, stop, and he knows not to do it. And she's the same way. That's like, she's infused with my ring. She loves it. And she always tries to take it. Well, the other day, I bought cupcakes as a treat that had little plastic rings. I took the rings off and I put one on her finger. She wore that ring for 2 days. 2 days.
Oh, which finger did she put it on herself?
I put it on her, on that
On the
finger,
ring finger?
and she wore it for 2 days. I was amazed. I don't know what she did with it. I couldn't find it after that. But yeah, she wore it for 2 days. It was a purple ring with a butterfly. It was just unbelievable. She's amazing. She is. She's caught on to things that he's taught her. I've noticed. Like apple. He does apple this way.
Oh, okay.
She does apple this way.
Did you teach him
Yes.
or he learned?
Yes, I taught him that. I'm working with him now, as in, Daddy loves you. That's what I'm working with him. And I got her to do Daddy the other day. You know, it's awesome when you see him do it the first time. It's like your kid. You know, you love to see him do it. I've got a camera. The camera I used to have out there, everybody all over the world could view it and watch him. Turn the camera, zoom it in, and listen to him. The find of the camera went down, and they were like $400 cameras, so I wasn't able to buy one. I got another one out there now. I only use, but I can, if I'm uptown, I can view them and see what they're doing out there, and I can talk to them from it, and I can hear what they're doing.
What do you say? What kind of talking to them do you do?
I'll say like, Tiffany, what are you doing? She'll run, and she'll look up at the camera, and she knows that voice, and him too, and they'll start howling and hooping, and hollering at me when they hear my voice. Yeah.
Would you explain what you were telling us before about sorting out pictures when you asked them in a magazine? Would you?
Oh, about I could take a magazine and ask Tuffy to find a car. He would flip through the pages and find a car. If you said truck, he could find a truck.
And he will point at it?
Yeah, he'll point at it. Yes, yes. And that's like M&M's. He knew his colors. No matter what color it was, you tell him pick up red, he'd pick it up. He'd eat it, of course. But tell him green, he'd pick it up. He knew every color. And he knew the difference between a baby, a girl, a woman, a car, a truck. He knew the difference.
Did he pick that up, or did you teach him
I
that?
taught him that.
You taught him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd done a lot of lots. That's what my life was. I was devoted to teach him things that I never seen chimps do before. We used to get on my golf cart and drive up the road and go up in the woods. I used to own a bunch of land up the road, and we'd go riding in the woods. But I learned on the four-wheeler when we rode it, he would grab trees and about yank me and him both off the four-wheeler. I learned how to let him grab trees and take the golf cart. Because it ain't fun trying to get back on when you're in the woods. But he's just, people would lock their brakes up going up the road thinking they didn't know what they seen. We've had people on the highway, he'd be in a car seat and he'd look out the window riding in a car seat. And we'd have people pass us, put their brakes on, almost make us rear end them just to get them to pass again to see what they seen. It's dangerous. But we had to keep him in a car seat. Now Tiffany, she was trained to ride in a laundry basket. We used to go to bingo. We started letting her go to bingo with us. She'd sit in the car in a laundry basket at bingo. Somebody'd holler bingo, she'd hit the table and start hollering. But then there was people that they were serving food that said, she's an animal, she don't need to be in here. I thought it was wrong. Because there was a lady that used to bring a dog in there. After they told me to keep the chimp away, Tiffany away, I threw a fit and I made him keep the dog away. Fair play. I know it may not sound right, but my chimp didn't lick its butt. Think about it. She's clean. In her life, in his life, they've never had fleas. You got to right now, you won't find a flea. Tuffy had one tick. He ended up with Lyme disease. Dr. Doug helped me take care of it. 4 years in a row, he got it back. And I'd get the medicine. And then after that, it never came back, never had a bit of problem since. And that was when he was about 4 years old. Until he was about 7. It came back every year. He'd get paralyzed, he couldn't walk. Get him on the medicine, take care of him. He could be fine. And then every year it seemed like the same time you'd have to watch him. And it came back, just like it does humans. You know, that's how Lyme disease is with humans. You know, it paralyzes them. And it done him the same way.
Is he doing okay now?
Yeah.
Good.
He's never had a bit of problem since.
Yeah.
He's healthier than... He is so healthy. I doctor him. I take care of everything they need. Doug is their vet. Doug Polikoff, you know. And he taught me a lot. First time I'm going to his place up there at his veterinary clinic. Have you been there?
No.
I walked in there. Well, I rolled in there with Tuffy on my lap. And he had turtles in there that are like 2 foot around. Big turtles. And they're friendly.
A lot of them, huh?
There's so many.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I drag raced, I had my NHRA license, just as I am. I got them after I got injured. And we had Tuffy. We would go up I would drive my tractor trailer myself, unload the cars, and my wife would be up there with Tuffy at the time. We didn't have Tiffany. He learned the sound of the cars. I could be down there suited up and I'd be in my car, waiting in line to make my pass. I could fire my car up. My wife said Tuffy would start hollering, knew the sound of that car. It's unbelievable. He learned it. Other cars, he never said, I would be there with him when other racers would run. Because where we parked, you could see. But when my car started, he knew the sound.
Amazing.
Yeah. The announcer would come up and say, "Oh, we see Mr. Blues here. What if he brung Tuffy? I bet that chimp could probably outdrive other drivers here." All drivers there would get kind of upset because it kind of, saying, a chimp can outdrive you, It kind of upset him in a way. He'd apologize, but, it was kind of, comical.
Yeah.
The other place we went, they loved it. I could go to the zoo and start hollering like a chimp. And I can get the chimps at the zoo to start hollering, just like Tuffy and them do.
So you acquired some.
I can do the vocals.
Yeah.
Just like Jane Goodall,
Yes.
how she does.
Yes.
I can do the same thing. And she can, just like them.
Really?
I can get them to holler. Yeah. It's just something they're vocals that you learn.
Can I hear one?
No, I'd rather not.
Okay.
Like when they holler, they do the woo, woo, woo.
And what does that mean?
It's just a holler that they do back and forth to each other. You know?
Uh-huh. So if you do that, they
And they'll start
respond.
hollering
Yeah.
back and forth at me. That's just like the friendship. They put their wrist out and bite each other's wrist.
Mhm.
Did you see them do that?
Have you?
That's something that they're taught in the wild themselves. I did not teach that to Tuffy and them. I learned it from them. I see them get in an argument and fight out there. And Tiffany would go over and like that and get Tuffy to bite her wrist to say it's okay. We're friends again. We're friends again. And that's what it means, friends. And when I go out there in the mornings, first thing I do, I get a kiss from both of them. Tuffy smiles, puts his fist out, and I bite his wrist. And he bites mine. Tiffany does the same thing. It's just the natural life of the chimp. You know, raising them. Things you learn. And I'm having problems with health, sore shoulders. I'm just now getting my doctor. Finally, I'm getting injections in my shoulders that is helping finally to where I can do things. 40-pound bags of pellets. I haul in. I bring them in myself. Or the friend that would come here tonight, he helps me bring them in. I'll go through 6 tons in a winter. And that's a lot. And all the decision of with the health and no help, yes, I got the money to even pay for help. But I don't want to lose them to someone as PETA, to a place that ain't going to take care of them, to a place that I know they're not going to be taken care of. I want to be able to go see him again. And Doug told me that I'll be able to go down and visit him. I'll be able to go see him. And this is what I want. It's going to hurt. But I got to do it. I've been thinking about it for a year. And that's the thing. I got to.
It's hard to separate from creatures you love.
Yeah. Yeah, after 21 years, what do you expect?
21 years.
Is that good enough?